2019 Honorary Alumna, Erin Antonetti. Erin became a part of the Mount Carmel family in 1992 when she met and began dating Mark Antonetti from the class of 1984 when they met at the wedding of their good friend, Harry Buscio, to Anne-Marie Flock. The Mount Carmel community welcomed her with open arms. Erin has many Mount Carmel ties and titles, but none has made her more proud than Mount Carmel Mom to Dominic 2017, Gino 2019, and Benedict 2022. Not being left out is their daughter, Cece, a Mount Carmel cheerleader. Erin has been a Cook County Assistant State's Attorney for the last 25 years after practicing insurance defense work. She's also an adjunct professor at Prairie State College in the Criminal Justice Program. She remains actively involved in her parish, Christ the King, where she also teaches mock trial and is a foundation member. Erin always found time for being around the Mount Carmel community, even through her busy professional life, family, and community involvements that kept her busy. She has co-chaired the Caravan Gala twice, co-chaired Mothers Club events, and attended a multitude of football, lacrosse, and basketball games. She enjoys the Carmel plays, the choral and band concerts, as well as the fine arts exhibitions. Mount Carmel has had a great impact on Erin, and in turn, Erin has had a great impact on Mount Carmel. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mrs. Erin Antonetti, 2019 Honorary Alumna.
(2019) Honorary Alum, James Bracken. James Bracken grew up on the south side of Chicago in the Canaryville and Marionette Park areas. His family moved often, and as a result, Jim attended 9 different grammar schools. His mother, while raising Jim and his sister, worked during the day and put herself through nursing school at night. She valued education and was firm in her conviction that her children would have a good education as a foundation. Jim's father was a truck driver and taught him a good work ethic and the value in a good day's work for a good day's pay. Jim heeded the advice of both of his parents throughout his life. He attended Mount Carmel High School and helped the burden of tuition by sweeping floors after school. Due to the financial burden becoming too great and maybe a bit of immaturity, Jim decided to cut his Mount Carmel experience short, get his GED, and enlist in the Marines. He took a page from each of his parents' book, with his dad helping him making a living in the trucking industry while he was pursuing a college degree at night, just like his mom. All of this sparked a dream in Jim to not only drive trucks, but own a trucking company. Fast forward to 1995, Jim met Kelly Farrell, and they married in 1997. They started their family in 1998. Kelly worked as a nurse but supported Jim in his dream. Together they bought a truck and started KLF Trucking in 2000. Since that time, they have grown the business from 1 employee to 250. They have branched out from KLF Trucking and now own 10 different companies that work together successfully in the industry of demolition, recycling, and waste removal. Although Jim did not graduate from Mount Carmel, he is a big supporter of the athletic and academic programs here. He feels blessed to have a full life and encourages others to follow his lead. You will often see him at fight night, sitting in the front row cheering on his son Patrick, who will graduate this spring. Jim went from sweeping the floors on Mount Carmel to being the demo contractor for the school's recent classroom renovations. As his businesses have grown, so has his passion to motivate others that come from a similar background and upbringing. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Jim Bracken, 2019 Honorary Alumnus.
Dan Kosis, Honorary Alumnus. Dan's initial introduction to Mount Carmel High School was as a young Chicago Park District athlete. His relationship with the school became even stronger after becoming close family friends with the Bradiches. In 1987, Big Don Bradich asked Dan if he wanted to help out at Fight Night with Don's sons Pete and John. Dan was hooked from the start and was honored and proud to be there. He continued to help out in several capacities, first as a cornerman and then as the main coach, which he has done for over 31 years. Mike Fitzgerald's passing left a big hole in the Fight Night program. Dan knew it would suffer or possibly fade away. He realized that the best way to show his gratitude and love for the tradition was to step up and take on a more active role. He worked tirelessly under the direction of team members Jack Riffis and Clem DeLuca to make the event the successful and fantastic night it is today. Dan's passion for combat sports, along with his focus on safety, hard work, and the fundamentals of amateur boxing, has been a large part of his contribution to Fight Night and Mount Carmel. He feels honored to be a small part of such an amazing school, with a rich history of mentoring and molding young men into contributing members of society. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Dan Kosis, 2019 Mount Carmel Honorary Alumnus.
(2019) Honorary Alumna, Kelly Lenti. Kelly Lenti became part of the Mount Carmel family after she met David Lenti in 1990. They would be married in 1992. Kelly is a proud Mount Carmel mom, having two sons that have walked the halls of 6410, Jake, class of 2016, and Matt, class of 2019. Kelly is active in her parish at St. Francis Xavier in LaGrange, volunteering for numerous events to support the school and church. Carrying on the family tradition, she currently serves as the coach for a girls' volleyball team at St. Francis. As a coach's wife and Mount Carmel parent, Kelly has attended and supported the Caravan over the years at hundreds of football, basketball, and baseball games, as well as countless other events. She has been actively involved in the Mount Carmel Mothers Club, co-chairing different events such as the open house, bunco, and the ad book for the fashion show. When Kelly married David, Mount Carmel became a second home. Kelly is thankful to the coaches, staff, and administration for teaching her boys the Carmelite traditions and for becoming men of Carmel. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mrs. Kelly Lenti, 2019 Mount Carmel Honorary Alumna.
(2019) Honorary Alumna, Rosie Nolan. Rosie's relationship with Mount Carmel High School began back in 1983, when she began dating Mount Carmel student Bill Nolan, class of 1987. Much has changed over the years, but what hasn't is her love for Mount Carmel. In 1991, Rosie graduated from Southern Illinois University with a Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree in Sociology and Psychology. A year later, her then boyfriend Bill began his teaching and coaching career at Mount Carmel. In 1994, Rosie began her own career with the Cook County Sheriff's Office. 13 of those years were spent in human resources as the Director of Personnel for 7,000 employees. The last 5 years, Rosie has served as the Executive Director of the Cook County Sheriff's Merit Board. Rosie would like to acknowledge her bosses, Sheriff Tom Dart, a 1980 graduate of Mount Carmel, and Sheriff Mike Sheehan. Although a Mendel graduate, Sheriff Sheehan sent his 5 sons to Mount Carmel High School. Rosie married Bill Nolan in 1997, and she officially became a coach's wife. 7 years later, Rosie and Bill's babies, Rosie and Maggie, were born. In the last 35 years, Rosie has been an active member of the Mount Carmel family, spending countless hours at sporting and school events. The coaches, faculty, their wives, and families have played a notable role in the lives of Rosie's family. Mount Carmel will forever be part of Rosie's life. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Rosie Nolan, 2019 Honorary Alumna.
(2019 Honorary Alumnus, James OKeefe Jr.) Jimmy OKeefe, better known around town as J-Rock or Mr. J, is the son of Jim OKeefe, class of 1983, and the nephew of Marty, class of 1984, Pat, class of 1986, Kevin, class of 1990, and Eddie, class of 1992. At the time of his delivery on August 22, 1994, his parents Kathy and Jim were surprised to find out that their newborn son had Down syndrome. However, as luck would have it, and Jimmy has lots of it, he didn't demonstrate any other medical concerns and progressed normally throughout his first few years of life. Following in the footsteps of his many cousins, he entered into the world of sports and amazed his coaches with his skills, power, and dedication. In true J-Rock style, Jimmy wasn't content playing only one sport. He dove headfirst into t-ball, soccer, golf, swimming, baseball, softball, bowling, volleyball, scuba diving, powerlifting, dance, and basketball, just to name a few. One event in particular that Jimmy treasures is the Oaklawn Park District Basketball Day fundraiser. Not only has he amassed more trophies and medals than one could possibly count, nearly all of them are first place, gold medals. Jimmy encourages his fan club, consisting of friends, parents, sister, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and the occasional stranger to attend the event and cheer him on. He orders matching t-shirts and smiles at his admirers as he makes his way down the court to score another basket. He finds joy in sharing his special days with those he loves. After graduating from Elam Christian Services, Jimmy began work at Culver's and then moved on to the Whistle, where customers are greeted by his warm smile and courteous manner. In his spare time, Mr. J loves to entertain. He will sing and dance and employ anyone in close proximity to join him in the fun. Jimmy's ability to communicate and form friendships with people from different walks of life has made it possible for him to create a group of friends that may outnumber those of Mike Mahoney. Yet his greatest fans are his sister Megan and his parents Jim and Kathy. They are truly J-Rock's #1 admirers, supporting and encouraging him in all that he does. Please join Mount Carmel in congratulating Mr. Jimmy OKeefe, 2019 Honorary Alumnus.
John McDonald, class of 1957, 2019 Hall of Fame inductee. During his high school career at Mount Carmel, John was a 4-year varsity track letter earner and a starter on the 1956 football team as a halfback. Upon graduation, John attended Purdue University to play football, but a foot injury his freshman year ended his football career early. John went on to earn his PhD in organic chemistry from Iowa State University and his law degree from the Chicago-Kent School of Law. John soon after began his long and successful career as a patent attorney. He has been involved in a number of cases that have had a profound impact on patent law in the United States. John is a founding member of the intellectual property law firm McDonald, Bainan, Holbert, and Berghoff, which grew from 4 lawyers to 80. MBHB is regarded as one of the premier intellectual property law firms in the United States. Because of his expertise in patent law, John has been an adjunct professor at the John Marshall Law School and the Chicago-Kent School of Law. He has taught U.S. patent practice at the Management Forum in London for 20 years and is a frequent lecturer at the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University. John is a member of the St. Cyril Society at Mount Carmel. He and his wife of 56 years, Karen, reside in Inverness and have 3 sons, 10 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. John McDonald, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame inductee.
Michael Hughes, class of 1958, Hall of Fame inductee. Upon his graduation from Mount Carmel, Michael enrolled at the University of Illinois. Later, in 1959, his journey toward being a master electrician began when he joined and became an apprentice in IBEW Local 134. In 1983, Michael founded Hughes Electric, which became one of the 5 largest electrical contracting firms in Chicago. Eventually, the firm grew to have subsidiaries in New York and New Jersey. Michael was the CEO of Hughes for many years, eventually selling the business in 2018. Michael has been a servant to the greater Chicago community throughout his life. He served on the boards of the Boy Scouts of America, Ace Tech Charter High School, Lewis University, and Misericordia. He is also an active supporter of the Covenant House, Off the Street Club, and Mercy Home, as well as numerous other charities. He began the Hughes Foundation, which was founded with the primary focus of helping children. Throughout the years, Michael has been an extremely generous and loyal supporter of Mount Carmel. In addition to doing a great amount of the electrical work in the Convocation Center, he also served on the planning committee for the center and the Lake Council. He is a member of the Society of St. Cyril, and in 2015 was the Mount Carmel Man of the Year. Michael is a devout Catholic and very strong family man. He has been married to his wife Madeline for more than 50 years. He is the father of Peggy, who is a teacher at Mother Macaulay, and the late Matthew. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Michael Hughes, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame.
Michael Fallow, class of 1959, 2019 Hall of Fame inductee. They say behind every great man are great women, and Mike Fallow is no different. Primarily raised by his mother Nettie in a home near 71st and Stony Island, Mike graduated from St. Philip Neri in 1955. Mike worked numerous jobs to help pay his way through Mount Carmel. Upon his graduation, he entered the University of Illinois, where he graduated in 1963 with a degree in management and manufacturing. Mike went on to earn a Master's of Business Administration degree from the Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management. He credits his success in completing his graduate studies to his wife of nearly 55 years, Bernadette. In 1967, Mike was recruited by Southwest Forest Industries, a Fortune 500 company based in Phoenix. Mike and Bernie picked up and moved to Arizona. In just 10 years with the company, Mike became vice president. In the mid-1980s, Mike and Bernie could no longer resist the idea of returning to Chicago, so they purchased a manufacturing company in the northwest suburbs. Soon after, they sold the company, but Mike continued to work for the newly formed organization until retiring in 2004. After retirement, Mike and Bernie spent their summers in Long Beach, Indiana, and winters in Phoenix, where they still maintain a home. Mike and Bernie have 5 daughters and 23 grandchildren. Mike attributes any success he has achieved in life to the 3 principal women in his life: his wife, his mother, and Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Mike Fallow, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame inductee.
Paul Pointen, class of 1965, 2019 Hall of Fame inductee. Paul was a 4th-generation member of the Pointen family, whose connection to Mount Carmel dates back to the founding of St. Cyril's Parish in 1900. As a true man of Carmel, Paul was always involved in the West Beverly community, his parish St. Cajetan, as well as numerous charities. He was a member of the St. Cajetan Parish Council and Men's Club, and was a recipient of the St. Cajetan Man of the Year Award. He helped to start the Kennedy Park T-Ball League and was a player agent for the Kennedy Park Minor League. He was a committee member for the Southside Irish St. Patrick's Parade from 1981 to 2003, serving as parade coordinator in 1987. He was also a member of the St. Vincent de Paul Society and supported Children's Memorial Hospital, Ronald McDonald House, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and several homeless shelters. Upon graduating from Mount Carmel in 1965, Paul attended DePaul University. After graduating from DePaul, he served 6 years in the United States Army Reserves as Sergeant First Class, where he supervised food facilities in Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. Paul went on to a 34-year career at Kimberly-Clark as a sales manager and corporate trainer. Paul was an active member of the Mount Carmel community. He served as president of the Mount Carmel Alumni Association in 1990. He helped on the big event by expanding supplier sources for regional marketing funding support, and he assisted the late Father Leander Troy on the Carmelite archives. Paul passed away in 2012 after 41 years of marriage to his wife Patricia. His children kept up the long pointen connection to Mount Carmel. His daughters, Amy and Katie, were involved in the volleyball program in 1997, and his son Brian is a 1990 graduate of Mount Carmel. Please join Mount Carmel in honoring Mr. Paul Pointen, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame. Rick Rundle, class of 1973, 2019 Hall of Fame inductee. In the fall of 1969, along with 13 classmates from St. Philip Neri Grade School, Rick came to Mount Carmel, where he made friends that are still with him today. Always a hard worker, Rick worked at a gas station, as a florist delivery driver, at a dry cleaners, and was also an Andy Frayne usher during his time at MC. Rick wrote for the Caravan newspaper and served on the intramural council while at Mount Carmel. The priests and teachers had a lasting impact on Rick, and happily, Father Dave Dillon concelebrated at Rick's wedding in May 2018. After graduation, Rick worked for the Harley-Davidson Agency and U.S. Steel Southworks. He attended Chicago State, IIT, the University of Chicago, and Loyola. He studied, and though he did not earn a degree, he took the knowledge he acquired during these stops and turned them into career opportunities, working first as a harbor master at the Chicago Park District, and then for Local 150 as a union organizer. A true Southsider, he lived in South Shore before moving to the Bridgeport area, and is a die-hard White Sox fan. Rick resides downtown with his wife Candy, enjoying semi-retirement. Always fascinated by politics, Rick has helped a few candidates get elected, and he's currently a precinct captain in the 11th Ward. Rick had incredibly loving parents and 4 siblings. His brother John had Down syndrome, and the two of them were very close, and John inspired Rick to always give of himself. A regular volunteer for Special Olympics, Rick helped with the 50th anniversary celebration of Special Olympics in memory of his brother. Rick also has 3 sisters. Liz and Ann are close to him to this day, making a good trio of siblings, though his sister Lucy passed away in 1974. Keeping busy with events at Mount Carmel has always been important to Rick. He has worn many hats, helping wherever needed at alumni events and committees. He feels that being a man of Carmel has led him to a life of giving and learning. Please join Mount Carmel in congratulating Mr. Rick Rundle, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame.
Mark Boganski, class of 1979, 2019 Hall of Fame inductee. Born and raised in the Vets Park neighborhood, Mark came to Mount Carmel from Sacred Heart Grammar School in 1975. Mount Carmel was in his blood, as he followed in the footsteps of his late father, Leonard, class of 1957, and was followed by his late son, Stephen. While at 6410 South Dante, Mark played 4 years of baseball, basketball, and golf, in which he was a 1979 state finalist. After graduation, Mark attended the Illinois Institute of Technology, where he continued his baseball career, playing all 4 years and every inning of every game. He also played 2 years of golf and even dabbled with the hockey team, playing 1 game. In 1985, he began his career at Phoenix Contact, a German manufacturing company. In 1995, he was promoted to a regional sales manager position that he still performs today. He is responsible for the industrial sales over 9 states in the North Central region. In 2009, Mark's son Stephen tragically passed away while attending Mount Carmel. Stevie always viewed Mount Carmel as his second family. Following his son's passing, Mark and family founded the Do It Stevie's Way 219 Foundation, where Mark serves as the president. The foundation gives a full tuition scholarship to a Mount Carmel baseball student athlete annually, as well as giving to other causes that were near and dear to his son's heart. The The Stephen M. Boganski Memorial High School Baseball Tournament has become a premier high school tournament in Illinois. Mark and his wife of 31 years, Karen, reside in Mokina, Illinois. He is also blessed with a daughter, Paige, and granddaughter, Kinsley Rose. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Mark Boganski, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame inductee.
Antoine Walker, class of 1994, Hall of Fame inductee. Antoine Walker is one of the most decorated athletes to walk the halls of 6410. Antoine was a 4-year varsity basketball player at Mount Carmel. He led the team in scoring and rebounding for 3 straight years, en route to becoming the school's all-time leading scorer and rebounder. During his playing days at MC, he helped lead the Caravan to 2 Catholic League championships and 4 IHSA regional championships. He was named All-Catholic League and All-State in 1993 and 1994 and was a unanimous All-American selection in 1994. Antoine's play earned him a scholarship to the University of Kentucky, where he played for coach Rick Pitino. As a freshman, he helped the Wildcats take the Southeastern Conference Championship and was named the SEC Tournament MVP. The following year, Antoine started on a Wildcats team that won the 1996 NCAA Championship. He was named First Team All-SEC Tournament Team, and was named to the All-NCAA Regional Team. After his sophomore season, he declared for the NBA Draft. Antoine was selected 6th overall in the 1996 draft by the Boston Celtics. He would go on to play for 6 different teams over 13 seasons in the NBA. During his career, he was named to the All-Rookie team and was selected as an All-Star 3 times. In 2006, he became an NBA champion with the Miami Heat. Since retiring from the game of basketball, Antoine has worked to educate young adults and players on the importance of financial literacy and education. He co-created and produced Gone in an Instant, a documentary about his own life as a professional athlete. Antoine has been a featured speaker for the NBA Rookie Transition Program, a mandatory program for NBA rookies. He works as a consultant for Morgan Stanley Global Sports and Entertainment, which is dedicated to serving the needs of professional athletes and entertainers. As part of his consulting work, he has visited over 60 universities, 8 NFL teams, and 8 NBA teams, delivering a comprehensive financial education program geared towards the athlete's unique situations and challenges. Antoine is also a TV personality for the NBA and College Hoops, being featured on Fox Sports Network, ESPN's SEC Network, having his own podcast, and he's regularly featured on ESPN Radio. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Antoine Walker, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame inductee. Rader, Honorary Alum, Hall of Fame inductee. Ray was born in 1935 on the south side of Chicago. He and his sister attended St. Sabina. Ray married his wife Eileen Pat Duran in August of 1958, and together they had 9 children, 8 boys and 1 girl. All 8 Duran boys attended Mount Carmel, and his only daughter would become a Mount Carmel cheerleader. Saying that Ray has been a man of Carmel for a long time is an understatement. From 1979 to 1996, a Duran boy attended 6410. He has had several grandchildren attend Mount Carmel, and soon will have great-grandchildren keeping the family tradition alive. Not only did he send his children to Mount Carmel, Ray spent plenty of time at the school himself while teaching hundreds of young men the rules of the road in driver's education. Ray's contributions to Mount Carmel have made him an honorary alumni, an honor he has held dearly since 1996. Ray played college basketball at Loyola of New Orleans, as well as St. Ambrose University. After graduating from college, Ray moved back to Chicago and began a long teaching and coaching career, making stops at Mendel Catholic, where he was also the assistant basketball coach for the 1960 City Champions, as well as spending 30 years at Bowen High School. Ray was an IHSA basketball and football official for 30 years, a Big Ten basketball official for 15 years, and was the official timekeeper for the Chicago Bears for 20 years before retiring in 2017. He was also the director for the Cook County Sheriff Department for 17 years. Among his numerous accolades are his inductions into the Chicago Public School Hall of Fame, the Chicago Catholic League Hall of Fame, the Illinois Basketball Hall of Fame, Mendel Catholic Hall of Fame, St. Ambrose University Hall of Fame, and the Central Officials Hall of Fame. He also received the distinguished Ali Hassan Award while referee. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. Rader, 2019 Mount Carmel Hall of Fame. Roger Hughes, class of 1959, Father Aquinas Colgan Humanitarian Award. Roger graduated from Mount Carmel in 1959 and attended the Chicago Teachers College for a short time period. Short thereafter, he joined R.H. Donnelly in their mailroom. Soon after beginning Donnelly, he started as a salesman, selling yellow pages to local businesses. Roger quickly rose through the ranks of R.H. and became an executive vice president in 1988. When R.H. Donnelly entered a joint venture with Ameritech Bell in 1989, Roger was named president and CEO of the newly formed company Dontech, eventually becoming chairman emeritus of that company in 1995. After Roger retired from corporate life, he pursued his passion for ministry and social justice. He has dedicated the last 2 decades of his life to various causes. He served on the United Cerebral Palsy Association as chairman of the Board of Trustees for Infinitec. He was a member of the board for the CARA program and was on the leadership council for Horizons for Youth. Roger eventually received a phone call from Father Jack Wall of Old St. Pat's Church asking him if he could give 3 months of his time to help form a business plan and bring order to the parish. 3 months turned into 24 years and began the next chapter in Roger's life. Roger helped shape the mission of Chicago's oldest church. He oversaw the restoration of the church as well as the school building and helped provide vision for the Chicago institution. Roger was devoted to Mount Carmel, and that devotion ran deep into his family. His 4 sons are also proud graduates of Mount Carmel. Roger passed away in April 2018. Please join Mount Carmel in honoring Roger Hughes with the 2019 Father Aquinas Colgan Humanitarian Award.
Jim Civic, class of 1964, Father Aquinas Colgan Humanitarian Award. Jim is active in his parish, St. Barnabas, as a liturgical musician, lector, member of the school board, and volunteer on the parish council. He serves his community by regularly traveling to retirement communities on the south side to volunteer and assist the residents. He helps to serve meals, plan social events, and religious activities. He also conducts discussions on current events, politics, and historical subjects. Jim's commitment to the Beverly community is evident at Ridge Park, where he is a founding member and the current secretary of the Ridge Park Advisory Council. His commitment to the park has been seen in his fundraising efforts, which have helped to improve facilities and increase program opportunities for area residents. Jim's passion and love for Mount Carmel is obvious to everyone who knows or has met him. Jim spent 10 years on staff at Mount Carmel. His first 8 years were in the classroom, and he was nominated for the prestigious Golden Apple Award for his work. He also founded and moderated the student-led rock band Browntown and was inducted into the Mount Carmel Hall of Fame in 2010. Jim spent his last 2 years as the alumni director before retiring in 2012. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Jim Civic, Father Aquinas Colgan Humanitarian Award recipient.
Father Dave Dillon Man of the Year, John Haggerty. Though not a graduate, John's love for Mount Carmel is unwavering, and the school is in his blood. John's father, also named John, is a 1931 graduate, and his son Dan is a 2011 graduate, as well as a current teacher at Mount Carmel. For over 30 years, John has served the young men of Mount Carmel and has impacted countless lives. John has held numerous positions at Mount Carmel during his tenure, and most recently served as the principal of the school. John's willingness to take on any role and his dedication to the Carmelite mission is unparalleled. John's sincere belief in the school's mission is evident in the passion that he brings to his work each day, and made the 60-mile round trip to Mount Carmel from his home in Skokie well worth it. With his energy and enthusiasm, he's become the favorite teacher of many a student and parent over the years. John has shaped the direction of many lives, and anyone that has come in contact with him is a better person for it. With his creativity and innovative spirit, he has helped develop new ways of engaging students in relationship building and community service through our Studium program and Impact Weeks, which he conceived. And with his commitment to Catholic Carmelite values, he has served as a model to generations of young men for what it means to be a man of Carmel. He truly epitomizes the motto, to live with zeal for God, for life, and for learning. Please join Mount Carmel High School in congratulating Mr. John Haggerty, 2019 Father David Dillon Man of the Year.